Hey kids, welcome to Unit 3, Lesson 3, For Loops, exercise number 2. We got an important one today, kids. In Array Printer, we're going to convert the while loop to a for loop in the getNumbers method. Before we get started, let's just take a look at our code real quick. We have an array integer numbers. It's storing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're instantiating a new object, myArray. It is from the Array Printer class. It is passing numbers, which is our array. Then it looks like we're printing off from our object here, getNumbers method. Let's look at our class array printer. We have one private array, it's called numbers, of the integer type. We have one constructor here, array printer, and it passes along numbers. We have a get method which gets numbers. And down here, this is how we traverse through our array. And when I hit run, it should look through every element of the array, store it, and then print it off. It means I should get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Let's hit run and see what we get. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can see down here, we have a little space. So we have space in between the numbers. What we're going to do is we're going to convert this while loop to a for loop. And if you look at this graphic on the screen, you can see a while and a for loop are almost identical. Then why the difference? Both the for loop and a while loop is used to execute the statements repeatedly while the program runs. The major difference between a for and the while loop is that the for loop is used when the number of iterations is known, whereas execution is done in the while loop until a statement in the program is proved wrong. What that basically means is we use a for loop when we know how many times we have to look through a loop, and we use a while loop when we don't. But as you can see, both of them contain the same elements. Still have an index, still traversing through an array, still incrementing up, and we're still doing something within our statement. Let's go ahead and write this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to comment all of this out. And remember, control question mark does bulk comments. I'm just going to put while statement. I'm going to come down here, and this is going to be my for statement. Give ourselves a little room here. And again, if you remember back to the anatomy here, it's pretty similar. I'm going to write for, still a condition I'm going to test for, still going to have curly braces. Inside, this time, I'm creating my index within my parentheses, so it's going to be index is going to be equal to 0. And in between my statements, I'm going to put semicolons. I am still going to look through my numbers array, and I'm still going to make sure that I am less than the index. Don't forget your semicolon. Now here's the part that's a little different. Our statement is still going to run here, but we are going to add the incrementing, or I++, to our conditional up here. So basically all we're doing is we're taking this index plus plus and adding it to the full line. And up here we're going to have index plus plus. And remember, that's the same thing as saying index plus 1. And all that does is increment that index from 0 to 1. We still have to write a statement because we're testing for a condition. And this time we just want the result to be plus equal, and that's the same thing as saying the result is going to be equal to result plus the numbers at whatever index we're at. And then we're going to add that plus and some empty spots so the numbers aren't squishing. That is converting my while statement to my for statement. All the same information. We're just basically putting most of it on one line. Everything still executes the same. We're still starting at 0. We're still testing to see if we're under the length of our numbers array, executing our statement, and then incrementing. It's just declared on one line. When I hit run, I should get the same numbers printed off. Well, let's see if we're right, kids. And looks like we converted our while loop to our for loop successfully. Key takeaway from this lesson, kids, is understanding how to convert this while to a for loop. Again, they are largely the same, and we really just use a for loop when we know how many times we want the loop to run. Whereas a while loop, we don't know, so we just want it to keep running until the statement is proved wrong. Our anatomy is we have our for keyword inside our declaration here. We're going to create an integer index that's set to 0. And we're going to check to make sure that index is less than the length of the array that we're traversing through. This time, we're going to execute whatever the statement is within the for statement. And then we're going to increment that index up by 1, even though it's all declared on the same line. And that's how you declare a for loop. Hopefully, kids, this video helped you understand how to convert a while to a for loop. As always, if you have some questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.